Greetings to all of you who have gathered in Rosario as part of the World March for Peace and Nonviolence. Today, each of you have stepped up and joined your brothers and sisters across the planet and have taken a visible stand on behalf of the more gentle world that we all yearn for, a world that only together we can create. You stand today on record saying no to war, no to violence and destruction, and no to injustice. You stand as a force challenging inequality, discrimination, and hatred. Like my daughter Rachel, you stand boldly in support of dignity and life for all human beings, and most especially for those who live under the most threat wherever they may be. I know that among you are artists, musicians, school children, former soldiers from the Malvinas, municipal officials, mothers and fathers. I wish that I could be with you. I am with you in spirit. As my Palestinian friends in Gaza say, Inshallah, one day I will be able to visit your beautiful community and see your beautiful faces in person. My daughter Rachel looked forward to more privileged people beginning to dismantle the structures of privilege. She looked forward to more moments when civil society would awake en masse and issue resident evidence of its conscience, its unwillingness to be repressed, and its compassion for the suffering of others. She looked forward to international resistance, fertilizing analysis on all kinds of issues, and dialogue between diverse groups of people. She looked forward to all of us becoming more effective in our work together. I thank you for keeping my daughter Rachel's message alive in Rosario. I thank each of you for the work you are doing and for being visible today. One by one, we become many. In the words of the manifesto of the World March for Peace and Nonviolence, we are thousands, we will be millions, and the world will change. Thank you.
Our daughter, Rachel Corrie, stood before the wall of a Palestinian home to protect that home and the two families in it from destruction. She was crushed to death as she stood that day, as she stood for the sanctity of the family's home, as she stood for the safety of those people, as she stood for the future of their children. She was run over by an Israeli soldier driving a 65-ton bulldozer of destruction. She was crushed to death by the military power of an occupying army. The world is full of many walls. Some walls, like the wall behind Rachel, protect homes and gardens. But some walls, like those between our countries, keep people apart, one from the other. Some walls, like the walls within and around Palestine, keep farmers from their lands, students from their schools, the ill from their hospitals, and old folks from their grandchildren. Some walls must come down. Today we stand in front of another wall. We stand in front of a wall on which grows an olive tree of solidarity, of justice, of peace. Each day more leaves spring from the tree on this wall, each leaf from a person or an organization that stands with us, with Rachel, in the commitment that we will not turn away from the struggle for justice, we will not turn away from the struggle for freedom, and we will not turn away from the prospect for peace. Rather, we stand together in solidarity with you today because what Rachel stood for has not been crushed. We stand with you and the rest of our brothers and sisters around the world who work together to build for each other's children the common future we desire for our own children. Thank you all for your work and your commitment to each other and the common world we're building.